Welcome. Today we are looking at trade blocks and economic integration. This is a key topic in your commerce exams for SS3. Pay close attention. Let us begin. First, let me explain the meaning of economic integration. Economic integration is the process by which countries remove trade barriers and coordinate their economic policies. It is a form of cooperation between countries. The goal is to increase trade and economic growth. Economic integration can be bilateral, between two countries, or regional, among many countries in a region. It can also be global, through organizations like the World Trade Organization. Economic integration has different levels. Each level involves deeper integration. The deepest level is political union, where countries merge into one nation. Now let me explain the levels of economic integration. There are several levels. A free trade area is the first level. In a free trade area, member countries eliminate tariffs and quotas on trade between themselves. However, each country keeps its own trade policies with non-members. Examples include the North American Free Trade Agreement and the African Continental Free Trade Area. A customs union is the second level. In a customs union, member countries eliminate tariffs on trade between themselves. They also adopt a common external tariff on imports from non-members. This means all members charge the same tariff. Examples include the Southern African Customs Union. A common market is the third level. In a common market, member countries have all the features of a customs union. They also allow free movement of labor and capital. Workers can move between countries. Businesses can invest freely. The European Common Market is an example. An economic union is the fourth level. In an economic union, member countries have all the features of a common market. They also coordinate their economic policies. They harmonize taxes, regulations, and labor laws. They may also adopt a common currency. The European Union is an economic union. A political union is the fifth and highest level. In a political union, member countries merge into a single country. They have a common government, common parliament, and common military. The United States is a political union of states. Germany is also a political union of former independent states. Now let me explain the advantages of economic integration. Economic integration has many advantages. First, it increases trade. Removing tariffs and quotas makes trade cheaper and easier. Second, it creates larger markets. Businesses can sell to more customers. This allows economies of scale. Third, it attracts foreign investment. Investors are attracted to larger markets. Fourth, it promotes competition. More competition leads to lower prices and better quality. Fifth, it encourages specialization. Countries can focus on what they do best. Sixth, it increases economic growth. More trade and investment lead to higher GDP. Seventh, it creates jobs. As trade increases, businesses hire more workers. Eighth, it gives countries more bargaining power. A group of countries can negotiate better trade deals than a single country. Ninth, it promotes peace. Countries that trade together are less likely to fight. 10th, it facilitates the movement of labor and capital. Workers can move to where jobs are. Capital can move to where returns are highest. Now, let me explain the disadvantages of economic integration. Economic integration also has disadvantages. First, loss of sovereignty. Countries give up control over their trade policies. They may have to accept policies they do not like. Second, trade diversion. Trade may be diverted from more efficient non-members to less efficient members. This reduces the benefits of trade. Third, job losses in some sectors. Workers in industries that cannot compete may lose their jobs. Fourth, increased inequality. Some regions and industries benefit more than others. Fifth, loss of cultural identity. Integration may lead to cultural homogenization. Sixth, complexity. Managing integration requires many rules and regulations. Seventh, uneven distribution of benefits. Larger, more powerful countries may benefit more. Eighth, political tensions. disagreements between members can arise. They can lead to conflict. Now let me explain the major trade blocs in Africa. The African Continental Free Trade Area is the largest trade bloc in Africa by number of countries. It aims to create a single continental market for goods and services. It also aims to facilitate the movement of people and capital. The AFCFTA covers 1.3 billion people. It has a combined GDP of over $3 trillion. It was established in 2018. Trading began in 2021. ECOWAS is the Economic Community of West African States. It was established in 1975. It has 15 member countries. Its goal is to promote economic integration in West Africa. It aims to create a single currency called the ECO. ECOWAS has made progress in free movement of people. Citizens of member states can travel without visas. However, the single currency has been delayed. SADC is the Southern African Development Community. It was established in 1980. It has 16 member countries. Its goal is to promote economic development and integration in Southern Africa. It has a free trade area. It is working towards a customs union. COMESA is the common market for Eastern and Southern Africa. It was established in 1994. It has 21 member countries. It has a free trade area. It is working towards a customs union. EAC is the East African Community. It was established in 2000. It has 7 member countries. It has a customs union and a common market. It is working towards a monetary union. SACU is the Southern African Customs Union. It is the oldest customs union in the world. It was established in 1910. It has 5 member countries. It has a common external tariff. Member countries share customs revenue. Now, let me explain the major trade blocs outside Africa. The European Union is the most integrated trade bloc in the world. It began as the European Coal and Steel Community in 1951. It became the European Union in 1993. It has 27 member countries. It has a customs union, a common market, an economic union, and a monetary union. 19 countries use the euro. The EU has its own parliament, court, and central bank. The United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement replaced NAFTA in 2020. It is a free trade agreement between the US, Mexico, and Canada. It eliminates most tariffs between the 3 countries. Mercosur is a trade bloc in South America. It was established in 1991. Its members include Brazil, Argentina, Uruguay, and Paraguay. It has a customs union. It is working towards a common market. ASEAN is the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. It was established in 1967. It has 10 member countries. It has a free trade area. It is working towards greater integration. Now let me explain the role of the World Trade Organization. The WTO is the global organization that regulates trade between countries. It was established in 1995. It replaced the General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade. The WTO has 164 member countries. Its main functions are to administer trade agreements, provide a forum for trade negotiations, settle trade disputes, and monitor trade policies. The WTO promotes free trade. It tries to reduce tariffs and other trade barriers. It also has rules against dumping and subsidies. The WTO has a dispute settlement mechanism. If one country believes another is violating trade rules, it can bring a case to the WTO. The WTO can authorize retaliatory measures. The WTO has been criticized for being too powerful. Critics say it favors rich countries. Supporters say it has helped increase trade and reduce poverty. Now let me explain the relationship between trade blocs and the WTO. Trade blocs and the WTO both aim to increase trade. However, there is some tension. The WTO promotes non-discrimination. Under the most favored nation principle, a country must give the same trade terms to all WTO members. Trade blocs violate this principle. They give preferential terms to members. The WTO allows trade blocs as an exception. However, they must meet certain conditions. They must cover substantially all trade. They must not raise barriers to non-members. The WTO also requires that trade blocs be notified and reviewed. Despite this, some argue that trade blocs undermine the WTO. They create a complex web of overlapping rules. Others argue that trade blocs are building blocks. They can lead to global free trade. A common exam question asks you to define economic integration and explain its levels. Here is a sample answer. Economic integration is the process by which countries remove trade barriers and coordinate their economic policies. The levels of integration are free trade area, customs union, common market, economic union, and political union. A free trade area eliminates tariffs between members. A customs union adds a common external tariff. A common market adds free movement of labor and capital. An economic union adds coordination of economic policies. A political union merges countries into one. Another exam question asks you to discuss the advantages and disadvantages of economic integration. Here is your answer. The advantages include increased trade, larger markets, foreign investment, competition, specialization, economic growth, job creation, bargaining power, peace, and movement of labor and capital. The disadvantages include loss of sovereignty, trade diversion, job losses in some sectors, increased inequality, loss of cultural identity, complexity, uneven distribution of benefits, and political tensions. The net effect of integration depends on the specific circumstances. Another exam question asks you to describe the major trade blocs in Africa. Here is your answer. The major trade blocs in Africa include the African Continental Free Trade Area, ECOWAS, SADC, COMESA, EAC, and SACU. The AFCFTA aims to create a single continental market. ECOWAS covers West Africa. SADC covers Southern Africa. COMESA covers Eastern and Southern Africa. EAC covers East Africa. SACU is a customs union in Southern Africa. These blocs aim to increase trade and promote economic development in Africa. Let me give you a quick summary. Economic integration is the removal of trade barriers and coordination of economic policies. Levels include free trade area, customs union, common market, economic union, and political union. Advantages include increased trade, growth, and jobs. Disadvantages include loss of sovereignty and trade diversion. Major trade blocs in Africa include AFCFTA, ECOWAS, SADC, COMESA, EAC, and SACU. Outside Africa, major blocs include the EU, USMCA, Mercosur, and ASEAN. The WTO regulates global trade. Keep reviewing, keep practicing. See you in the next topic.